Welcome everyone to oldtacosandgeeks.com. Justin here, back with more video game reviews, and today we are going to be reviewing the Precinct, which is now available. This is developed by Fallen Tree Games Ltd. As always, I give you a brief synopsis of the story. So, without further ado, here we go. You are Officer Nick Cordell Jr. as a rookie beat cop fresh out of the academy. You're on the front lines of defense of Averno's citizens dive into a world of thrilling car chases, sandbox crimes, and healthy dose of 1980s lore as you protect the populace and solve the mystery of your father's murder in the line of duty. And as far as the story goes, I will have to say this. It's kind of a disappointment. It comes in terms of story because the story of Nick's father's death and the mystery behind it doesn't reveal itself until the last mission. The majority of the story and most of your playthrough is that you're going to be helping out two detectives solve their particular cases when it comes to the rise of two gangs. And that's where the whole gameplay element will come into play. So, speaking of the gameplay element, let's talk a little bit about the gameplay. So the gameplay is relatively simple and actually it does a good job, but I will have to say this. It will feel repetitive for a lot of players, and that was kind of where the disappointment came into play. First of all, give these guys credit because you can tell they did their research and tried to make this game feel a lot more authentic of a cop game than other previous cops games that we got in here. You are doing tasks that a lot of police officers do in real life. You have missions where you have to drive around and look for parking violations or, keep patrolling a certain avenue or street for speeding violations. There's stop and frisking other civilians and people to see if they have possessions of narcotics, weapons, and just checking IDs to see if they have any standing warrants. And that's pretty much what you're doing throughout this entire game is the same type of missions over and over, which you're able to select, by the way, once the world opens up to you. And it's fun, but it will get old very, very quickly because there's not that much of a variety here. There is a little breath of fresh air where it comes to the detective needing your help to solve a murder mystery. And that's why I have probably my most time of enjoyment in this is when you have some of that detective aspects where you're looking for clues and trying to piece together who this vicious killer is. But the majority of the precinct is going to be you doing these runs and missions and you choosing which ones to do for a certain amount of hours. Sometimes it can be 10 hours, sometimes it can be 16 hours, sometimes it can be 8, 6. And you're also able to customize your shift as well. You have a partner with you, Kelly, and the AI in this is actually pretty good, I will have to say. If there's two, let's say there's a assault happening and then there's two people that's having a fight, your AI partner Kelly will actually take the other one. And it's actually realistic too, because sometimes Kelly can get the job done, and sometimes Kelly can be overpowered and that person will escape and you only manage to capture one. It's very realistic in that type of sense. And for anyone thinking that they can become a crooked cop and go full GTA and start just blasting on innocent people, the game will just end and you will have to start your mission over. So no, folks, you cannot. They do not have kind of like this bad cop, good cop type of rating system. You do get points deducted on your XP after every shift if you were overly aggressive or if you had bad conduct. But as far as you blasting fools and them arresting you and stuff like that, there's no real system for you to be like a really full blown crooked cop in this. Nick is, and that's Nick's character anyway. So Nick's a fully good cop here. So you're not gonna get those. I will have to say, as far as the shooting goes, if you're not used to that kind of isometric over the top type of dual stick type of gameplay when it comes to the action, you might have a hard time controlling. For me, it took a while because I'm not used to dual stick, but the controls are very smooth. The driving could still see a little bit of improvement compared to my video on the demo like I did before, but it's still good enough. But I will say just a little bit shifts here and there will do good. There's also a upgrade system in this particular game where after every shift you gain points and you're able to upgrade Nick's stats, whether it's his driving, his shooting, or his actual health and stamina. And you're gonna need that stamina. I suggest you do because criminals like to run from the cops. So it'll be more helpful if you have your stamina up. That'll be my first tip for you guys. But overall, I would have to say that the gameplay, while repetitive, is enjoyable, but a little bit disappointing that there's not that much more variety than just going to shifts. There's a nice break when it comes to investigating the actual um, murders that happen throughout the city, but there's not much after that, and that's probably the most disappointing part. Far as graphics go, graphically, the game is gorgeous and it ran very well, but there are some graphical glitches that I did see. There's times where enemies can run through walls. I saw those enemies that sometimes when they hide in the trash can, they're standing on the trash can, and then you do the action to take them out of the trash can. And so there's a little graphical clippings here and there, some bugs as well. Nothing game breaking though, I will say that, but there were some bugs in here that I encountered, such as graphical clipping. I had no issues with frame rate for this particular game, but I did see some graphical clippings and enemies and AI sometimes walking um, just walking either through walls or just stuck between a wall. And believe it or not, the city, you can't really go into much stores either. There's only like designated places you can go. So the world is pretty much closed off. So you're just pretty much in the streets. You can't go into stores and investigate things. Only certain areas that are designated that you're able to go to. So that's a little disappointing because it's not too truly open world of you actually going to stores and things of that nature. As far as the music goes, the music was pretty damn good. It goes with this jazz noir type of feel, which works very well for the type of aesthetics and tone. And I really did enjoy the soundtrack here, so no issues with the music. As far as the final grade goes, I'm unfortunately the Precinct is a fun game, but a little bit of disappointment due to lack of variety in terms of missions. You can do speeding violations, parking violations, hunting for drugs, gang activity. Of course, there's helicopter sequences, helicopter missions, and things of that nature. But it would be nice to if the world was a little bit more opened up of you going into places, at least of various of stores or responding to actual burglaries when they're inside the stores and things of that nature. But I will have to give this a wait for sale. I will not buy this immediately. I'll wait for a sale. It is a fun game, but it can get a lot repetitive after a couple of hours. But it's still a good game. It's not a bad game at all. Don't get it twisted. I will just wait for this to hit sale and then you'll have your enjoyment. This is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com. If you like what we do here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll catch you on the next one. Later days.